Ms. Milito.
Thank you very much for asking me to speak about this topic. But let me start off by saying that for a small business owner, nothing is a substitute for more time. And while we appreciate the board's willingness to consider ways in which it might provide assistance to small businesses, I respectfully suggest that the NLRB might likely be the last place where a small business owner would turn to for help in the midst of a labor organizing drive. Small business owners are legally bound to follow and therefore to know and understand every rule and regulation that impacts them. That includes the differing requirements promulgated by every jurisdiction in which they operate. As a practical matter, this presumption is fiction. No small business owner, let alone a reasonably large staff of experts, can recognize, understand, and implement the thousands of pages of rules that they must obey. Further, this continuing task must be undertaken while operating a business well enough to make its continuation worthwhile. Despite a legal presumption that is impossible, most small business owners make a good faith effort to comply with all regulations and laws. That means they must frequently seek information about government rules and how to comply with them. But a poll conducted by the NFIB Research Foundation on contacting government showed that small business owners prefer to get information about government rules from private sources, such as another business owner or trade association, not a government agency. Why the lack of contact? The reason is simple. Small business owners are considerably more likely to see the demanding or negative face of government than the collaborative or positive side, even when the owners initiate contact. They are not comfortable asking for help from an entity that has the ability to fine, penalize, and prosecute them. The interface between small business and government is far more personal than with larger businesses and arguably far less satisfying, since the varying sources for rules and permits, let alone the different agencies within a government, can be a source of great frustration to small business owners. In our poll, overall 38% of owners reported no contact with a government agency within the last 3 years, and 20% reported contacting a government agency only once or twice. Another 17% reported that they had initiated contact many times, but those contacts were primarily for permits or licenses from a state or local government agency. Federal government is the level of government least contacted by small business owners. I've been working at NFIB now for over 10 years, and I have the pleasure of speaking with small business owners every day, and very frequently the owner is calling because of an employment, HR, or labor matter. As you can imagine, and for the reasons I've stated in my earlier testimony, it can be a significant challenge for small business owners when it comes to dealing with labor and employment matters. And without in-house expertise, small firms will need outside help. But finding that help, that outside source, will take time. I have already noted in my earlier remarks why time is important, and there is simply no substitute for time. It is for these reasons that NFIB urges the board to withdraw the proposed rule. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
As Member Johnson had indicated previously, you know we have an app for that, right? Do you know if members of your association are aware that there is an app and there's information contained in that app that is geared towards employers as well?
I can tell you that I have studied your website, and on some few occasions I have actually referred members to your website to find the number for a regional office. I have studied your fact sheets in great detail. I like your chart that shows the election process and the ULP process, the flow chart. I'm a big fan of flow charts. I can tell you that with regards to the employer information, there's bullets on what an employer can't say. There's nothing on there. It talks about, what an employer can't do. There's nothing about employer rights on there. There's some information. I'm not denying there's information available and that some of it is helpful.
Yeah, Ms. Milito, one of the things, let's assume hypothetically that the board elects not to make any changes in our current election rules. We have an interest in trying to ensure that elections take place in a lawful way. And small business owners, I take it from your testimony, have difficulty just understanding the rules of the road. And I'm wondering, is there Do you have any specific suggestions, apart from potential changes, and anything that the board could do that would make it easier for small businesses as employers to understand the rules of the road in a way that they would perceive to be, neutral, so that they can just remain lawful?
Yeah, absolutely, I follow. I think just making it clear on there that employers can contact the board. I'll be honest with you, I spent time in preparing my testimony studying your website, and as I said, I did find, there is some very helpful information on there. I've gone to your website before, obviously. But just making it clear on there that employers are also free to call the board. One of the members I spoke with wasn't even sure that he could call with a question to get, I can't remember what the form was that he needed, but it wasn't even clear on there. Like, for instance, the Department of Labor, I think, makes it pretty clear that, employers, employees, that both can call, both sides can call. As you said, you can't offer legal advice to either side, but, the public can call.
I see. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other suggestions that you would have that would, you think, provide assistance to small businesses?
Again, I think their comfort zone is going to be with outside help, and ultimately they're going to need outside help in responding, and coming up with, they're going to need legal help.
Well, would you want us to have a referral service or a referral to a referral service?
I think as a practical matter that would be difficult. It would be difficult just because of the logistics and, coming up with a list in all geographic areas of the country would be hard to do.
And I would think we'd have other problems as well.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.